Welcome to DASHCAST. Welcome back. I have an all-important question for you, and I promise it is going to be relevant. You in the audience first, and then us in the booth. Cat mayor or dog mayor? Who is best? Who do you think is best? So I'll go first. I'm a cat mayor type of guy, and we had this conversation before the cast, but I want to get it on record. Lat, cat mayor, dog mayor?
It's definitely cat mayor.
Cat
Dude,
mayor.
going
All
on
right.
the record.
All right. C2.
You're dumb, but I have to go with cat.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Goose, how about you?
I'm going cat mayor.
All right, Laz.
All these cynics, they can't stand having a decent, upstanding dog as mayor, which I think we really need in this country.
Boo.
Boo, dog mayor.
Terrible, boo.
And here's the thing. Look, we all agree, except for Laz, that cat mayor would be best. And yet, despite that, we could still be wrong. And clearly, looking at the way that these playoff matches have played out, dog mayor might be the way. Like if we even just start with the quarters here in Walker and go over those first round picks, Laz is on it. All of us said ATX would beat Acid there with the potential, that it depends on what lineup Acid is going to bring to the table. And lo and behold, here's Lazarus, Mr. Dog Mayor himself, saying Acid is going to bring their A game for the playoffs, and they did. You got anything to say about that, Mr. Dog Mayor?
Well,
You reading into a crystal ball for this?
it's a lot easier time commitment to say, hey, I'll play 3 games, and hey, I'll play 12 games over the course of 3 months.
Yeah.
It's more likely than not they would have brought their top game if they were available.
That's true. And so, regardless, we still had the predictions about Sky and Hard and Ajax versus TBDI. Went through those. If we move on to Sprinter, so far not much has gone beyond our predictions when it comes to the Walker quarters. But hopping over to Sprinter tier.
Yep, just give me 1 second here.
Sure. We
By the
gotta
way,
move
what's up,
the
Goose?
devices around. Get
What's
into
up,
red
Laz?
mode.
What's up, Goose? What's up, Gollum? Gollum
Hey.
just jumped right into his.
Well,
into his
I
cat
gotta
mayor
get
thing
to the
and forgot
mayor
intro
talk. I mean,
altogether.
the politics is important, man. And of course, we got
I didn't sign up for
C2
this.
also in here. I did go through introductions, to be fair.
No, you
Everybody
didn't.
introduced their topic.
I don't remember.
You don't remember saying cat mayor?
I do remember that, but okay, that was the introduction. Okay.
Yeah. That, we
gotcha,
can
I
say that
gotcha.
counts, right?
That was leading up to the Acid and ATX.
I got you.
Yeah.
I guess I got thrown off because I was not expecting that conversation to flow into Acid and ATX.
I know
I
that
told you,
transition
man.
was
I was
I
like, wait,
told you.
we're starting?
A
It's
plus
okay.
transition.
It was smooth. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So I shit all over your transition, bro. My bad.
Right. So I'd also like to point out that cat mayors were on point when it came to the Fire versus Rook match here, and not that that's too fine of a point that I'm going to stamp on, but we did end up getting that one right, since Rook did beat Fire and move on to go against 12 a.m. after that.
That was an incredible match, though.
Yeah, no
It was
kidding.
a fun match to watch.
Did it?
By the way,
What were
at
your
this point,
thoughts?
guys,
Were you
spoil
casting
away,
that
'cause-
match, Goose? I can't recall.
No, I did not cast that one. But hold on 1 second. I wanted to look at the scoreboard really quick.
Sure. Just get the stats up in here. That's the way we like to do it. We're all about the statistics up in here. We're not about conceptual talk like dog mayors and cat mayors.
It's
and
objective.
Whose fault is what? Yeah, objectively subjective. Sure.
All
Wanna
right.
go home?
Yeah, so Rook and Fire, Rook made it to 92%, Fire made it to 84%
Ooh.
on payload, and then it was the Volcano wasn't close. It was 3-0, but still the scores themselves were relatively close on the Volcano. but it was.
I wonder if
was
the
a
server
really
difference
fun-
played in that at all.
It probably did. I mean, but Lobster Master and Humbles, Lobster Master dropped 93 kills, Humbles dropped 94 kills, and Chiron on Fire dropped 93 kills. So it was a pretty high killing map on Launchpad.
Yeah, no, you're telling me, man. And then really the point I want to harp on before we move on to the Dasher quarterfinals is
We
Limbo
didn't cover
and
the other side of the
Undog.
bracket.
What's up, Les?
We can cover Supernova Siren or the other. There's like 2 other games.
Well,
There's
yeah,
He
three
wants
other
to
games.
point out how wrong
look,
C2
I-
was and how great
I'm not
Ryan
gonna let
did.
you skip that, Gollum. Jesus, it's the only reason I'm here.
Okay. So tell me how you felt playing Supernova and going to Control Point of all things. That was what is that the closest control point of the whole finals playoffs so
It
far?
is not. It is not actually.
No, no.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Yeah, the match last night was pretty close. It was closer, I should say.
Mhm. So
I don't even remember what the score was for the
Control Point.
For your control point,
Yeah, I don't.
It was
Yeah.
300 to 265.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. I remember that one being back and forth for a little bit too. And even the fact that it went to Control Point is kind of a testament to it in itself.
To be honest, I don't remember anything about that match.
It was all a blur.
Yeah.
I mean, during the volcano, Hog Rider and AGL Blackghoul both got 25 kills, and Hog Rider top scored for Supernova, and they won 3-1 on Volcano.
Oh, okay. What are you trying to forget, Laz?
I don't
Kinda black
remember
that out?
anything.
He was
I
playing
was
up
20 and 4 on
Les-
Volcano.
You went negative on Canyon.
Yeah, I know.
You had a .94 KD. You did top score, but
Yeah, because I had to
Objective.
run in and die, so 4 could just sit in the back of SMG the whole game.
4 did have a 1.52 KD though.
Okay, so that's where the
Yeah.
kills all went.
Yep.
Really,
Yeah.
Laz was the funnel.
I'm the new Willow.
Hmm
Write that down.
So, Limbo versus Undog. That was kind of our split decision, as it were. Whereas half and half, kind of like hard to decide who we think is going to end up taking that match. You want to, Goose, if you have the stats
Yeah,
for those?
Well, I
go
remember
over
that changed his mind because he forgot that Underdog got half of the roster poached right before roster lock.
Yeah,
I don't know if
So-
you remember that when you thought
I do remember that. I remember as soon as you reminded me that, I'm like, oh yeah, Limbo's gonna win, basically.
So it did go to a control point. Underdog won the Canyon 100% to 93%. Limbo won the Quarry 1-0.
Oh
And
my
then-
god.
Limbo won 300 to 247.
A 1-0 Quarry is look, I like Quarry, but
Playing
that much
everybody who
painful.
plays Hyperdash knows that's
That's
hell on earth.
actually painful. That is terrible.
It's-
Oh, I
That
feel bad.
actually makes a lot of sense.
It
Oh
does.
my-
Does. You know, but that's tough. That goes to show how close that was, even despite
Yeah.
that. But Limbo did end up taking it there.
They did.
Anything anyone wants to say about the quarterfinals for Sprinter before we move on to Dasher?
Do we want to talk about Axe 12 AM at all or no?
Well, I have thoughts about this. So 12 a.m. it has been in Sprinter tier a very strong team. They've seemed pretty coordinated. They clearly have the passion behind it, and I think I made this exact speech when we first talked about the tier predictions. And Hacks, it just doesn't have like the same player pool that a US team does, and clearly that ended up showing in the match for why 12 a.m. ended up taking it. Still, it's fun to watch all of these playoff matches, no matter who ends up taking it and by how much. But I don't think any of us are particularly surprised that 12 a.m.'s moving on.
Yeah, the top 3 killers on 12 a.m. Sugarcane, Aluno, and Panda all killed more than all of the players on hacks. Like Drevny was the top killer on their team with 54 kills, and Sugarcane had 80, Aluno had 70, Panda had 67.
Yeah.
On
I mean, there's not
Launchpad.
much
So
you
it's
can do
just
about that.
they just have the higher kill power, like you were saying.
Mm. Yeah. Any other points? Okay. I'll take those crickets as a sign. Here, let me just get a little.
There you go.
Hey,
There we go. Yeah, you
I
gotta
don't even
use
think
those
it picks
Discord
up-
sound effects.
I don't think the would it pick up the Discord sound effects too? Some audio.
It
or-
does, because I'm just picking up all of the audio coming through.
Thank goodness. That bit would be so awkward if we just sat in silence.
I think it
for
would be
that.
even funnier if it wasn't.
I would look insane. So, moving on to the Dasher quarterfinals matches. Let me just get a couple burps in there.
There we go.
I'm working through some pesto ganache that I made,
Ooh.
and with some cheesy garlic bread, and it's good, but it doesn't mean that the stomach likes it. So on that gross note, Envy versus Wolf. I mean, we've been over this point before. We have respect for Wolf. I mean, they made it into Dasher tier their first season as a team, but yeah, it's Envy. So that's that. Southern Cross having a pretty good season, all things considered, but Control has kind of controlled themselves to a degree that's surprised no one and everyone. I think I can kind of speak for a lot of people with that. They've played together so much that it really shows in their performance during the playoffs as compared to the start of their season.
Yeah. If only
that's
we
why they
had
end up
somebody
taking that.
in here that was on Control that could comment on that.
Yeah,
I
too
know,
bad
right?
we don't have anybody to talk about that.
Yeah, let's go on to the next match. What
Crash
about
team anyway.
UNSC Sith?
How was it playing Southern Cross C2? Were you in for that match?
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, when we were playing the Launchpad, it was really rough. It was actually pretty close with
Because
how
they get
close it was.
Rapscallion is like almost every season he's in contention for All Stars for sure, but he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
up there in the stats
He's
compared to
really
like
good.
all these top players.
Yeah, we ended up pre-checkpointing him, but we got to the final point at like a minute left. Like we only had a minute left. They stopped us very well, and it was a close payload, no matter what. So it was tough on the high ping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then when the servers switch over, it's tough for them, and because you won that
Yeah.
first one, it didn't go to control point after that.
No.
Yeah. Unicy versus Sith, same sitch as Envy versus Wolf. I'm happy to see Sith back at it again, but Unicy's in contention for the top team of this season. Not a whole lot to say there besides respect to Sith for going at it anyways. And Life versus Phoenix. I mean, just looking at the rosters, I know that I said I thought Life was going to win this, but I was still surprised by that match. Do you have like the stats for it, Goose? How it went?
Yeah. So April 27th. Okay. Yeah, so it was both pre-checked. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Wait.
Life won. It was pre-checkpoint. Life took the Abyss though. And then Life took the Quarry. 2-1. So it didn't even go to 3 points.
It went to the 25 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that did surprise me. I thought it was going to be one map each, to be honest, going to a control point at the end of that. But Life really pulled it together, clearly. I mean, anyone got any thoughts or insight into that match? What's up, Goose?
The thing that's crazy is that all of the stats are pretty close, but then Evil Pancake is the one sticking out with a KD of 40 and 22. on the payload.
A KD of 40 or a KD of like 2? You mean?
No, 1.1 1.1 sorry, 1.12 for the KD.
Okay.
And then everybody, yeah, the quarry was closer. .com and EP had almost the exact same KD. But definitely on that payload, EP was the standout there.
He's very good, like sustained presence. Whereas .com's like burst presence is something to be commended for sure, but clearly Life won out because of that difference.
Right.
Yeah. So, semifinals. This is
back to
more of the who's mom. What's it?
For
what's it called?
semifinals, are we go back to Walker? Or are we
Yeah,
go
I mean, we've got this whole cycle situation figured out, Mr. Dog Mayor. Let's just go back through it.
All right. Coming right up. All right, here we go. Oh no, I faded the black. There we go.
Whoa.
Okay. I fixed it.
And that's the end of the stream.
Goodbye, everybody. It's just quarterfinals episode. Semifinals. So these are more the matches we expect to be pretty balanced comparatively, because quarterfinals, the placement is like deliberately because of seeding, like stretched out. So top seed plays bottom seed, all that. But
right,
we have Jester versus Acid and Sky versus Ajax was what actually went through. All of us predicting that Sky was going to end up taking Ajax. And that seems to have come through, with Ajax ending up going to be fighting for third place against Jester, of all teams. Jester versus Acid also kind of surprised me, to be honest. Sky versus Ajax, not quite as much. It was still a good match, but wasn't as surprised that Sky won. But I was surprised that Acid took it. And they were pretty strong in that match too, Acid was.
Yeah, they had Lumi and they had Gog. Gog, definitely a Rookie of the Year candidate.
That was kind of the linchpin of what you were saying about Acid, right? That if they bring their top lineup, then they're going to like do very well here in the playoffs.
Yeah, because their top lineup is easily mid sprinter to even low dasher. Lumi's on the skin, so
yeah, that's for sure. Clearly, it showed. And so Jester will be playing against Ajax for third. It's going to be Acid versus Sky for the finals. How you feeling, Laz? Or Lat? Oh, excuse me. Both
I love. I'm so hyped to play Acid.
And Goose, you too. You guys looking forward to this match?
Yeah, I am. It's gonna be interesting. I think that Ajax match was a. After that, we breathed a sigh of relief.
Yeah,
and I didn't even play in it, but like watching it, I can't imagine. Watching you played in it.
Your own matches is so hard.
Well, I commentated it.
Yeah, it was a lot closer than to be perfectly honest, it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Ajax versus Sky, you mean?
Yeah. But that payload was super close. We've had Sky's had trouble pre-checkpointing teams. Our defense pre-checkpoint is just not there, and so we were hoping to get a pre-check on Ajax, but that didn't happen. And but we kept them from 100%, which they had a really good hold on us in the rafters on Canyon that wasted a bunch of our time. And then that's when I started getting anxious. Like, okay, guys, what the hell? Let's get this going. Let's start pushing this. They shouldn't be stopping us right here. And so we put in, just I will say, like, Sky is very good about cart focus when they need to be, because I was noticing once we got past that rafters part and we were all blitzing the cart and all that sort of stuff, just trying to reach where they were. Like every single person that came up, we had kind of a trickle going, but everyone was hitting the cart and moving it each time they got into their base. So we did a really good job of I think we got to where they did at 94% or something like that with like 21 seconds left, so pretty close. And then the waterway. I thought that waterway was interesting. Goose is laughing. Goose, explain how that waterway ended. The way that you explained it before.
Okay, so we went to the overtime, and Lat basically said like, don't rush in and push the button. Just let them push it first and then go in. But they didn't do that. They didn't touch the button at all. And it was funny because afterwards, Sage Birdie was in the lobby with us talking. And she was like, yeah, I told them not to push the button, and they just didn't touch it at all. So Snarples ended up going in there and holding the button for the win, and Ajax didn't touch it at all. And I was just like standing there in my living room watching this match, just like with my mouth open, like, did that just happen? I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
We were all surprised too in the game. So, all right, so yeah, I told them we had not practiced any sudden deaths, so that's on me. And so, of course, this match is going to go down to freaking sudden death. And so, with like 3 minutes left, I think it was Clever who was saying like, what are we going to do for sudden death? I'm like, all right, well, we hadn't prepared anything, so I just basically the main thing I laid out who was going to grab dashes at the start, whatever, as we're playing. And then I basically told him, like, don't be the first one to hit the button. React, like, get in position, try to get picks. And then when they hit the button, then we have to, start hitting the button as well. But let's see if we can get some picks as they rush for the button. And they obviously had the same plan, because what we all did on Sky is like we all rushed to be there, to be next to the button so that we could get those counters. And it seemed like we all, like everyone on Sky that got to be, like I said, we weren't going to hit the button first. So we were all standing there like staring at the button, and like down. No Ajax people were even on B at all, I think. And I think it was Mad Clever who said later, he was like, yeah, I just saw no one was pushing the button, so I just jumped in there and hit the button. And it was like, and Ajax was like, I don't know what they're.
I think there was only one of them at B. I know Sage was throwing shocks down there, but she only hit you. And so the button.
So I just don't know. I don't know why Ajax didn't rush to B, because if you're all hanging back in the base, and we could just hold the button on you as you're trying to come and counter or whatever. And that's basically what we did. So Clever hit the button, and then the countdown's going, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, let's get hands in the button. And I'm yelling at everyone, get your hands in the button. And so we did, and so I jumped in, and Sage Birdie, like, I'm the only one that ate that shock. Sage Birdie swears that like all four of us were in there. That shock should have killed everybody.
I feel like that was like you're jumping on the grenade moment for the team.
Yeah, yeah. So and so I died by that shock, and then Snarples, right as I died, got his hand in the button and held it for that cap. So it was just there was no counters at all, just a single like Sky hits the button and wins. And Sky hits it, holds it, wins, and we were all just cracking up. After that, I'm sure Sky was cracking up. I'm sure Ajax was like kicking themselves. But right. That just goes out to every team. Practice your sudden death and know what you're going to do, because your season could end because you didn't practice sudden death.
Or even if you don't practice your plan, at least have a plan.
Yeah.
That everybody knows.
I mean, there's even a sudden death mutator that you can do to practice it. It's just take a day, or not a day, but like an hour or whatever, and just run it.
Yeah.
That's definitely something our team needs to do, and that we should do before the finals. I was gonna say, oh shit, what was I gonna say? I'll say it if I can remember it. But what were you gonna say, Laz?
So that feels like it always feels like a real prisoner's dilemma, and you want to be like the person to touch it right after they do. And so if neither team goes for it,
and you get some.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember what I was gonna say. Just basically how frustrating that waterway had to have been for Ajax, because Sky, we go up 1-0. And after, I don't know, we were probably playing for like 8 minutes or something. We go up 1-0, and then probably another 8 minutes later or something, Ajax ties it. And of course, us on Sky, we're like, God damn it. And then they go ahead of us 2-1. And I'm just thinking, like, we can, like, that whole match, I was thinking, why aren't we capping? Oh, I got something else to address for you on behalf of Sky. Beef
okay.
too. But anyway, I think we only had like 3 minutes left when they went up 2-1, and I'm just thinking like everyone stay focused. We can get this capped. Need to be hyper aggressive, and all that. And then we do get that cap, and which was epic on our side. That was just for us in the match. It was, it steals all of the motivation from the other team and momentum and puts it in your own pocket. I'm sure Ajax was deflated as hell after that, after we tied it with like 30 seconds to go or something like that. I've had that happen to me, and man, that sucks.
Yeah.
And so here's the beef. And it's straight up Goose. The beef I'm about to bring up?
I don't, but I'm excited to hear it.
Oh, it's Laz beef. It's straight up beef with Laz.
Oh,
and Sky.
Yes. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So commentary, whole match, Laz is like, man, Bird Fever, he's just not being aggressive. He's hanging back too much. He's hanging back. They're gonna lose. Like Laz was clearly pulling for Ajax, probably to get to control point or whatever, and just dogging on Bird Fever relentlessly for doing the role that I gave him. And I will say to Laz's credit, Bird Fever hasn't really practiced that role. He's played it with us in a scrim once, where we put him back as the back person, because usually I do that. But like when I do that, I'm only in the base, if I'm waiting on a dash or there's someone in the base to kill. Otherwise, I'm pushing up to B and getting out of our base. Bird Fever was mostly just staying back in the base because we didn't really talk about the nuances of the role. He was just basically like pistol sniping and cleaning up the base or whatever. And Laz was just all over his ass, being back in the base too much. But Bird Fever, he top killed, which, I mean, that's awesome. The pistol sniper role is really important because that person, even if they're not getting a bunch of kills, any shot they land in somebody weakens them up for their other teammates to help facilitate them getting kills. And if you have someone who's doing a good job pistol sniping back there, not only is that good defense cutting down the people getting into our base, but it helps our aggressors get into their base by making our fights easier because everyone's taking a bullet or two from the pistol sniper. So Bird Fever did a good job back there. I agree. He should have been a little bit more aggressive and all that stuff, but what he was doing worked. And man, in our Discord after that match, it was just we were just like bitching about Laz, and I was telling him like, Laz, like, not that they thought that you actually had any issues with any of them and were like, biased commentary or anything like that. They didn't. That's not what they thought. But I was like, don't get upset. Laz was just just calling it like he saw it and whatever. But I just wanted to bring that up for the Sky Bros.
So
tell Laz in his face, fuck you, Laz. Bird Fever did a good job.
Would you like me to respond?
Yes, please.
Okay, first of all, I want to preface the fact the POV was on Bird Fever for 90% of the game.
Yeah.
I had like
he went 82 and 54.
I know how to play. I'm like, man, I really want to stop talking about Bird Fever. But because he didn't push out, he never died.
Yeah, but that's on the caster. The casters need to know that.
Yeah.
To follow the action, and Raider Gator he's doing a good job. He's new to it. He'll get that nuance. Like when you're stuck on one, I hate it when someone's being active, moving around, dashing around, and someone's on like an 8K, and then the caster switches the camera around. I bitched Gollum out one time because he did that to me. I wouldn't know anything
about that.
Yeah, I was so mad at Gollum. I'm like, dude, I'm like on a fucking 10K and you just switch off. What the? I'm so mad. And so like you don't ever want to switch on someone who's doing that. But like I'm sorry, if you're gonna sit back with rockets or pistol sniping or something like that, you go 10 in a row. It's like, of course you just went 10 in a row. So let's get into the action or whatever. So anyway, Raider will get better at switching it around and getting off that sort of stuff. But yeah,
that eventually he'll do my mistake instead.
So
yeah,
that is
only
my
to
first
me though.
point.
Like you won't do it to anyone ever, but when it's
just
me,
flat. My second thing is you guys should have lost that game or that round of Waterway.
Nah, don't agree.
Ajax was up 2-1 for like 12 minutes. And then you got a point with 2 minutes remaining and ended up being a sudden death.
It went exactly to plan. That was our whole plan going in.
Oh, that was planned.
Overtime.
Okay.
Overtime, they're not going to grab the button. That's the plan.
Well, next time, just shoot me the memo beforehand. I didn't realize it was a long con.
Well, anyways, that's Walker tier.
Nice
So,
segue.
sprinter play or semis.
Oh, I should have been prepared. Gosh.
Oh
Goose.
my goodness, Goose!
Acid versus
I know,
Desert
I'm
at
Goose,
all?
I'm too
Dude,
busy
I
shit
didn't watch
talking.
that
You better
match.
dock his pay, lad.
Transition, come
What?
on, man.
I know.
C2's
I'm
been
You
dropping
better
waiting
dock
his
his pay
whole
for
life
this. This is
for this.
ridiculous.
There we go.
All right. So thankfully, we don't have anyone in here in the sprinter tier. So we can just talk mad shit about
No one
all these
worth a
teams
shit.
as much as we want,
For sure,
especially
let's go.
Iron. So the first things first. Rook versus 12 a.m. We all said 12 a.m. was going to take it, and that ended up being the case. Besides Laz, of course, saying that Fire versus 12 a.m. But that's old news. That's old history.
Yeah.
We talked
New year,
about
new
that
me.
with quarters. Yeah, exactly. I'll just be mean to Laz, just like these Sky Bros, and we'll move on from there. Do you have the stats for how that match went? Rook
Which
12
one?
a.m.?
Rook 12 a.m. So 12 a.m. went to 100%. Rook got 39%. So I on Launchpad, I believe that's a pre-check. And then it was 3-1, 12 a.m. on Volcano. So not as
looking
close as
strong.
we would hope it would have been, but it was still a good match.
You should be quaking in your boots, Laz. That's what I'm telling you. Limbo versus Iron, that happened very recently, Laz. That should be fresh on your mind.
I don't remember it.
You don't seem to remember any match you're in, just the ones where you're commentating over.
Well,
yeah, you remember that
well,
Sky match
I
pretty
went
well.
back and watched the cast.
True. And you still don't
For
remember
that
it?
game. No. Well, I watched the Ajax Sky game. I don't watch.
Oh,
cast,
you're
so
not talking about Limbo Iron, right? Because you lived it and you're done with it.
It's a
That's
lived
past.
experience.
Yeah.
I also don't like to watch 4 suck. I mean,
that one. I mean, we've had this conversation last DASHCAST about like Iron Supernova both being the favorites and both getting matched up immediately. Kind of interesting situation, but it's not a huge surprise that Iron ended up winning out there. So Limbo versus Rook for third place, Iron versus 12 a.m. for first. But 12 a.m.'s been bringing a little bit of heat, Les. They've been cooking a little bit, Les. I think I think you need to start cooking a little bit yourself if you want to take this next match. I'm just saying.
I don't even know when finals are.
I'm just saying. Finals at any point in the next 2 weeks, man. Talk to your captain. Your captain knows what's up. You just join the VCs when they're open, right?
Yeah. Also, like I can't understand Shout.
You can't. That
just like
you
emotionally, I don't understand him.
Right. But you just kind of do your role and then let them figure it out from there. Is 4 like a translator for you guys?
More or less.
Okay, understood.
Well, you saw the image I sent you yesterday from that match. So, yeah, you know what's up.
I know what's up. Fair enough. Anyone got anything they want to talk about with the semis here? Who Goose? Did you cast any of these? The sprinter semis?
I did not. I don't think I was not available for those. I cast the Dasher ones, one of them.
Gotcha.
Well, 2 of them.
Yes, 2 of them.
Yeah, numbers.
Number time.
I don't remember. I'm like, I don't remember what I casted.
Yeah, the Lazarus effect. It's infecting you too.
I've been playing this game for 5 years. It all blurs together after a certain
Speaking
point.
of people who've played this game for 5 years, let's move on to the semis for Dasher.
And I have these ready to go. Look at that. Boom.
There we go.
Like
Smooth
a professional.
Give that man a raise.
Made it immediately bumpy by me pointing it out. So this was close, guys. This was wild to watch these 2 different matches. Envy versus Control and UNSC versus Life. I'm sure we're all rooting for whatever teams we were rooting for, but regardless, like, what games to see come to fruition. It still ends up with the result that we all initially expected, but I'm going to be honest, it was not the way I expected it. I did not expect Envy and UNSC to be going at it in the finals after both having been taken to control point, and a pretty close control point each. All things considered, what was the? Do we have the stats for the Envy control point? I can't remember what the number was. I just know it was like hard for me to stay seated during all that.
Yeah.
I don't
Was
think
it
that's
was it not?
It was the Envy control point.
What am I thinking of then?
300.
You're saying the UNSC Life.
Yeah, UNSC Life was super close.
You're just extrapolating to the rest of the
Lazarus.
Yeah,
in fact, me too, man.
We commentated MB control.
That I don't remember. I'm gonna use the Lazarus excuse now.
we all can't remember anything about any game.
Right.
What do you remember, lad?
We're so well prepared for this conversation. I love it.
Can't you tell?
I don't remember.
We are very prepared to talk about cat and dog mares. Let me tell you, we have all the facts.
I just woke up.
We did like 8 hours of prep for our cat versus dog mare conversation.
Hold on.
You're saying
you just woke up.
You're saying this isn't the NBA Finals? That's not what we're talking about? Darn.
Well, we're not going to get hired for commentary over that. That's for sure.
Said you.
No, I remember the Envy versus Control. Like, what it was a little bit back and forth in the beginning there. Like Envy started building their lead early,
Envy pulled away,
but it wasn't some sort of like immediate stop. Like Control had their moments coming back into it. They just couldn't break that initial lead that happened in the first 100 seconds.
Right. It was also a bunch of little mistakes.
Yeah.
C2 as the top scorer.
There we go.
As the top scorer for Control in the control point. What are your thoughts on that?
Mr. Controlling
that control point was tough, man. I hated it so much. It was rough. It was so back and forth. Emotionally? Well, I mean,
I want to know what y'all's conversation stuff was like before you got into the control point, because you guys are like one map away from the finals in a season where everyone just assumed NB was going to be in the finals. So
man, it was crazy.
Oh my goodness!
Like
let's talk about the volcano, by the way.
Yeah.
How did you 3-0 them in like 3 minutes? That was not expected.
We knew we were going to lose the Abyss, so we were just like, okay, we're going to win Volcano and hopefully try to win control point. Because not many teams are very good at Volcano. And we've been practicing Volcano a lot. So we were just hoping that we'd take the Volcano and try to go to control point. Because we suck at Abyss.
Yeah, 8 minutes and 16 seconds, the website says.
Yeah.
So that's pretty quick for Volcano.
Especially in the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
Like, how... so Volcano was your choice, right? Was Control's choice for map?
Yeah.
Have you guys been practicing that just kind of like with a mind of trying to take out whatever top team you end up going against, or were you just kind of like going at it?
Well, yeah. We knew that we were one of the best Volcano teams, so we would hopefully try to win the Volcano and then try to make it go to a control point. Because, like I said, not many teams are too good at Volcano. So we're just like, okay, we're just going to try to get good at the map that not many teams practice much, you know?
And hopefully take it there.
Yeah.
With winning that.
So you guys try to practice control point very much?
We did. We just suck at it. That's all it is. We try to practice it a lot.
One of the things I noticed with Sky was when I got on there, we started working on control point right away. And we got kind of lucky this season that most teams that we played scrims with would stick around for control point. I know playing seasons before, like you ask teams to like, okay, can we play control point now? No, we're done. And it's like,
they just leave.
if you can become dominant on control point, then it's like you really only have to win one map. And Sky, we won all of our control points. We had a few of them this season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the second half of the season when I was there, I don't know about their first half of the season, but we won all of them by like a lot because we practiced that map a lot. So just something for everyone to consider, like get good at control point, because if you're not confident in your payload game or your domination game or whatever, if you can be really confident in control point, all you need to do is win one of those other maps, and then you get to control point where you're comfortable.
Well, it's also
and just
the only
dominate.
map you play every time you play a game. You will always play control point.
True. Yeah.
Unless you're
Eventually,
dominating.
If you make it to control point, you'll always play control point. You won't always play whichever of the payloads or DOMs. Yeah.
Right. Especially there being so many now as you play the maps less and less.
Yeah.
This
Map
might be.
pool gets bigger.
I don't know when we're gonna get them, but I know. Well, actually, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be saying this.
You keep
saying
that on the
anyway,
down low, you
Orblum.
motherfucker.
Say it.
But I know that he's gonna. You know how he talked about remixing some maps. There are plans to remix some maps into control points. So I don't know if that's going to be available for season
OG
8
ball map.
or not.
You
But
heard it here
eventually we will
first,
have more than
folks.
just stadium control point.
Ooh.
Why wasn't
We like
elimination
that.
ever a tiebreaker?
Say what?
Why wasn't like
Yeah.
the like elimination maps like Pit and Rig? Why aren't those ever like tiebreakers?
Because elimination
no.
blows.
It's
Really?
because nobody's clamoring at the gates.
Nobody wants
try
to
and bring
watch
even
an
in.
elimination.
Yeah,
Let's
no
be
one,
honest. Here.
no one's interested
I'm
in
not
watching
watching an
two
elimination.
teams try and like snipe each other
It's
death
so
fun.
boring.
as your
It's
climax for the.
terrible.
Oh,
Like I could see
Well,
maybe
we are cat mayors over here. I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
We are a bunch of cat mayors talking about
I could
nobody
see maybe
liking
like a
even.
pistols only elimination to 21. That would be a good sort of tiebreaker thing, and maybe that's something we can add for fun or whatever sometime down the road, seeing how the league evolves over these next few seasons. But it would have to be pistols only. Do you know who wants to have like an elimination style tiebreaker allowed? It would
well,
be like,
also, Lat, to be fair, everybody hates every map that's not Launchpad Canyon and Waterway.
except what?
Except Launchpad Canyon and Waterway.
You mean
I mean-
blue, red, and orange?
I hate
Yes.
Waterway. Waterway sucks.
Yeah,
No,
Waterway
Waterway's
blows.
terrible.
You're
Waterway's
like
so
the
bad.
best Waterway player known to man, T2.
No, it's terrible though.
You remember last season when Luke would scrim Supernova and we'd stomp you on the payload and then you would 3-0 us on the Waterway?
Man, I don't know what you're talking about.
Man.
Not a thing.
Interesting times back then.
But no,
Playing
I'd rather
Waterway
play
against y'all.
Stadium Ball than actually watch an elimination.
I
I'd rather
think
watch a
the
Stadium Ball.
sticking point is there's
Stadium Ball's
no
fun.
objective for Pit and Rig besides kill, whereas
Yeah.
payload and Dom and control point, they all have this main objective, and killing is like the side thing, and being very good at killing can like bring your team up, but isn't why you're going to win. And I think that's what makes Hyperdash so interesting. Is
Well, that was
having
sort of
that
the reason
objective there.
people had for not wanting, and we're off on a tangent at this point, but who cares? For people not wanting team deathmatch as a tiebreaker, it's just because there's no objective. There's not. I mean, sure, there's some level of strategy in terms of positioning and trying to lock down areas and whatever, but it's not like both teams have the same external objective other than just getting kills. There's no other thing to focus on. So it's like automatically whichever team just has the better killers,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to overcome them by superior strategy or whatever. Whereas with control point, I've others beat D on control point before. You can absolutely have a better like plan of action on a map like control point and even get out killed but still win that one. Same thing with like payloads and dominations. It like a team that has superior killing can lose those if they're not focusing enough on objective. Typically my whole thing is like, in order to execute a strategy, you have to be able to kill the other team better than they can kill you, just to be able to execute what you want to do. If you're just getting shit stomped by a team that's like, just superior killers and you can't even get into action what your strategy is, then you're just shit out of luck. And so I think that's the everyone wants some sort of objective to be in the game to strategize around, rather than
As like a mediator.
the tiebreaker being straight killing, which doing like an elimination tiebreaker or a team deathmatch tiebreaker, it would just be all about killing. And I'll usually make those decisions with the board or whatever, depending on like community favor. And no one's really, this community is really scared of change.
Yeah,
like
very.
They bitch so much about how things are, but when you try to introduce something to try and fix that, they're just like, oh, you're ruining everything. It's like, make up your mind if you want things to change a little bit, and have new game types and change things up a little bit and have some more fun, or if you just want to like bitch about the way things are but not change them at all. So anyway, I would be open to discussions on like expanding what can be used as tiebreakers. One of the other issues with like making that happen is they would require a new MMR and all that sort of stuff, and which is just laborious. Every time each season we've updated MMR. When we created MMR, when Parsnip made the MMR the first time, and then when it got made a second, like redone a second time, like that was months and months of work. And so adding new game types would require all that work over again. And so we'll just see how it goes, how things develop. But anyway, I think we can get off this tangent now.
So UNSC versus Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
talk about a close game.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Rusty, I'm relative to Lat and Laz, I'm newer to the game. I've known Rusty always as being a high dasher player, being a good player, and I've heard people talk about him being good at the game. I've even seen his stats over the season. But this was like the perfect example of him being an amazing player. Sandman did very good for UNSC. The rest of UNSC did great. Life as a whole did very good. EP did great as usual. But like Rusty really surprised me, getting over 100 kills in a map
106, yeah,
against a top dasher team like this was insane and completely unexpected from basically anybody who isn't a D player is kind of my sticking point. Like EP, Koala, Dark Moon, they all have played for D. They're all the best players at the game. And part of that is because of being on D. Part of that is why they're on D. But like Rusty really came into his own in this in a way that maybe I've just missed it, but I haven't felt it before this. And that really impressed me here. And that clearly carried over into the control point where they were just, as a team, UNSC had some back and forth with Life, but Life had two moments in particular that I remember seeing where they kind of lost their momentum and their focus as a whole in a way that UNSC didn't seem to. UNSC maybe lost control for some time, but they never seemed to really lose focus and momentum. And clearly that's why they ended up taking that control point at the end. And that was also very exciting to watch.
It was.
Were you guys all watching it live?
I was casting it, and I was on the edge of my seat.
Of course.
I was on the edge of my seat literally the entire game. I was so pumped. It was such a good game.
Mr. Pumped, if you will.
But 300 to 288, very close, and I think that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the closest control point of at least playoffs, if not the whole season. I don't remember if there was a closer.
Was it UNSC versus Envy? UNSC versus somebody where they won by 1 point on control point, right? Do you guys remember what that was?
I thought it was last season that a team won by 1 point.
Yeah, that wasn't the season.
Okay. No, yeah, but like what team was that?
Oh, I can't.
That they were playing against.
What is your question, Gollum?
What was my question? Last season, UNSC, the team that won this control point to make it to finals, won a control point by 1 single point against what team?
From last season?
From last season. Here's your Dash trivia. Write it down in the comments. What do you think the answer is? And now, Lazarus, go.
I don't know.
Oh, damn it.
UNSC was a sprinter last season. I don't follow that.
I think it's probably 2 seasons ago. Was it when they were a good team or when they?
Wow,
Wow.
Dude, last
that
season they
is
dropped the ball. They were, like you
crazy.
said, they were in sprinter. They were all out of sorts last season. UNSC was not a good team last season. 2 years ago, or 2 seasons ago, though, they almost got into the finals. So they were, and was it? No, it was Phoenix that upset them 2 years ago. But I remember there was that one game that was 300 to 299, and for some reason I'm taking it to the UNSC Envy also, but I could be wrong about that. But I was thinking it was 2 seasons ago, not last season.
Leave a comment of who it is.
Yeah. I do want to say though, for this UNSC versus Life semifinal, is it safe to say, or is it safe to blame Castle and Willow for that Life loss?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Okay.
It's not like he top scored on control point or anything. I mean,
yeah,
all their faults.
I mean, we all saw it. Willow was not gaming that day. Clearly,
yeah.
I disregard all of our comments about Willow gaming.
He didn't take his G Fuel.
No, you gotta take your G Fuel. G Fuel, if you want to sponsor us, by the way, doors are open. Anytime you want to walk in, I know you're watching. I know you're watching G Fuel.
We will ban Willow for you, G Fuel.
We'll do anything you want if it includes banning Willow.
I'll kill him.
Might even just do it after this. Anyways, let me just get a little bit.
Did you say I'll kill Willow?
For sponsorship? Yeah.
For G Fuel, we will murder Willow,
for
slaughter him, chop his body
live
up,
on
and
air too. We'll film it.
For G Fuel.
Whoa! Calm down. Let's not go too far now.
I knew you would be all in on that if you don't lie to me.
No. Listen, the cameras are on. Let's be nice here, okay? We can talk about this after.
Behind closed doors, when we get into the big Dash League meeting room and VR chat or whatever.
VR chat
with G Fuel.
Heck no.
Have you ever gotten VR chat, C2?
Shh. We don't talk about it.
Okay. Anyways, G Fuel and Dash League and third place. Who? I know we've got some C2 bias, but I'm still interested to hear C2.
Are we going back to Walker?
Life versus Control.
Colin? We go back to Walker, or we just
go back to Walker?
Not?
We should probably go back to Walker first.
I mean, if you want to talk about the Walker finals before we get back here.
Yeah, we probably.
I mean, we have a format.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
we've got a format.
You're kind of ruining it now.
Oh, look at that!
I don't know who decided this. It could have been anyone.
I gotta say, by the way, guys, these graphics are just chef's kiss. Amazing graphics you see here that Goose is transitioning between. I gotta say, whoever did these graphics, absolutely brilliant. The most basic ugly graphics of all time. Actually, I wish we had like something nicer to look at.
I like the one who made their letters bigger than everybody else's and didn't put any boxes. I think that's the best one.
Yeah, for like literally no reason.
Mine is in Comic Sans.
No, it's not Comic Sans. Comic Sans is round. That's edgy.
Top right. Mine is in Comic Sans.
Yours is Comic Sans? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm different. All right, Ajax versus Jester.
Ajax versus Jester.
What?
We've had this conversation when we talked about Sky Ajax. That both these two teams are pretty clearly the top contenders for the whole tier.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd be surprised if Ajax didn't win it 3-0. It is best of 5. It is best of 5,
right.
So maybe Jester's going to bring something unexpected to the table. Maybe Ajax will drop the ball, but more than anything, I feel like this is Ajax's game to lose. Am I wrong for thinking that?
Yeah. I mean, they have lagging it now.
No. You mean no?
Getting conflicting answers here.
100%.
Maybe.
Okay, so Lazarus thinks Jester's going to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Write that on the board, and then give me $50 later, Les.
Okay.
If Ajax
does it matter the currency
against Sky? Then it'll be an easy win for them because I mean they got a lot of veterans on Ajax. Again, they shouldn't even be in Walker tier right now. So
yeah. Speaking of shouldn't be in Walker tier, our other finalist for first place, Sky, going up against Acid.
Yeah.
That'll be something. That'll be something. I feel like Well, listen, I'm still very confident Sky's going to win this. I feel like that's founded. But the fact that Acid has been bringing their top roster to every match means there's like actually there's something there, right? And
I think they'll take
I'm
a
going to
map
ask
at
this.
least.
I'm going to ask the same question again, Laz, and I want you to give me the
Mhm.
correct response. Am I wrong for thinking that?
For thinking what?
That there's some chance actually for Acid to take this if they bring their top roster again and
I
take
think
this
they
match seriously.
could, though. I do think even if they do win the 2 maps required to bring it to a control point, I don't know if they have the coordination to win a control point.
That's a good point. So our question before the playoffs was, will they bring their top roster? Our question before the finals is, will they practice control point?
So basically, the story of Acid is, will they try?
Yeah, I mean,
and they've been trying, so we'll see. They brought their A game.
We'll have to wait and see. You quaking in your boots, Goose? Or do geese wear boots?
Well,
they can.
They wear hats.
I have web feet, so I am also amphibious.
Okay.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, nope. That.
So translation, obviously, he thinks Sky's gonna win, dude. Can you not pick up on the hints he's throwing?
Sure.
Here's the thing. So when they had, obviously this is nowhere near their top lineup, but they had Khan, Aspie, Tev, Higuruma, and Richard Burns when we played them last time. And we didn't have Lat or Snarples on the team.
Really?
At that time. So yeah, and our lineup was Mando, myself, Unstoppable, Wanderer, and Tickle Monster. So I think that if we get our top lineup in there, I think we'll have a pretty good shot. And like I said, Acid has had a problem with being not coordinated. Like they're good killers, but they don't. I at least from my point of view, they haven't been practicing a lot, and they don't have as good a coordination. So I think that's going to be a huge factor going into this game. But that's just my point of view.
It's like the classic Hyperdash issue. Good killers who don't have the coordination or practice to build the coordination. It is like so many teams have that.
Yeah, I mean, why sit on cart when you can just shoot?
Yeah, of course. Somebody else can move that cart. Red team can move that cart.
Yeah, this is the rosters are going to be like completely different for this finals matchup than when you guys played them cycle 1
beginning of the season.
Because they've got small quad now. They've got GOG. Benji, I think, has played in the playoffs. Freak has played. So, Lumi. So Lumi, if they bring those, that's going to be a tough match.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was it announced this way, or did they, or did Lumi play any regular season games, or did they just buy him for the playoffs?
I think they they got him cycle 3, but he didn't play until playoffs. They got GOG after the season ended.
Well, yeah, I know, but I was just thinking about Lumi's compensation deal. He must have swung a
deal. Oh, is he compensated?
No, he played against Ajax.
Oh.
And that's
Is Lumi compensated this season?
Well, he's supposed to be compensated, but
remains to be seen. TBD.
Yeah, yeah. That's a more.
Oh, he's paid specifically $32 a match.
Okay.
Yeah.
30.
According to the website, Lumi only played during the Ajax match during the regular season.
Yeah.
Oh, so he did play 1 during the regular season. Okay.
Played 1.
Okay.
But he did not top score.
Well, guess he's going down to $30. I mean, it's hard life out there.
Got to get that $2, get that 200 cents, man.
It's 8 gumballs. It's big money.
That is big gumball money. Let's head on up to Sprinter.
All right. Boom.
That from dark mode to rage mode is what we're changing.
I question the color choices on these brackets. I said
whoever decided that, The last one, perfect, wonderful. This one, questionable at best.
Looks like a Clint Eastwood movie.
True. You watch a lot of Clint Eastwood, Lat, or were you the main actor in that movie? You're pretty old, right?
How do we get on to Clint Eastwood?
That's crazy.
Doesn't the bracket kind of look like a Clint Eastwood movie? I don't remember the name of the movie, but
Midnight Iron.
whatever.
I have no idea what you're.
There's that song about the big iron on his hip.
This has nothing to do with anything.
Well, it's red and black on the album or the cover of the
Whatever.
song or
Let's talk
whatever.
about the third place match.
So third place.
Underdog
We've
Rook.
got Rook, and we've got a Limbo going at it. I feel like these teams, from what I've been seeing, are fairly evenly matched. I don't really know what to expect from this game, to be honest. We've talked about how Lobster Master's been pretty good at leading her team forward, and that's going to be difficult for Limbo to deal with. But as a whole, Limbo has some like decent players for this tier, and that's going to be some difficult competition. Do any of you guys have any predictions or insights into that?
I think it'll be interesting to see the Rocket battle. You got Lobster Master on Rook, and then you got Hodge/Dashful on Limbo.
True.
Both very good recorders.
Mm-hmm. And experience. They've been around for a while too.
I wonder if Dashful will catch his own game.
that would be funny. Have the drone in the back, silent.
Yeah.
Commentary.
In person.
I mean, he's been very good about picking up casts this season, especially since he must have upgraded his computer and or his internet. I don't remember which combo it was. What was the limiter? But
He also
he's been great
casted
at that.
2 matches at one time.
Yes, I remember that.
Double duty.
But I think that this is going to be a great game. They actually have not played each other this season, which I was
Really?
I was very surprised at looking at that. Yeah, they have not played each other. So that
all of these other motherfucking teams and all these tiers have played each other at least once, but not here.
No,
that's wild.
So
only in Sprinter tier.
Yeah, this will be a great matchup to witness. I'm excited to watch it.
So I want to go to 12 a.m. versus Iron, and I want to hear from C2 first. Before we get to that, though, Laz, have 12 a.m. and Iron played each other, or Goose, whoever answers first?
Yeah, we played Cycle 5.
Okay. Damn, you remember that, but you don't remember.
I remember the games I win.
You don't remember yesterday? Anyways,
I played a lot of Helldivers.
True, fair. So
great game. Shout out to Helldivers.
Shout out to Helldivers. We were talking about that before the cast too. But C2, what are your thoughts on 12 a.m. versus Iron? Who you think is going to take it and why? I know you said 12 a.m. versus Supernova on the bottom left
Iron.
there didn't quite shake out that way, but now that we know who's matched head to head for first, what are your thoughts?
I still got full faith in 12 a.m.
Okay. Who are your big your money shot players? Who you think are going to carry this to victory, and why do you think that's going to make a difference?
12 a.m.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you could say that you think 12 a.m. is going to win, but you have to support it with players. Some hard facts. We're all about hard facts here in Cap Mayerville.
I mean, I don't know about facts, but like I remember Sugar as a little baby, and he's grown up so much, and he is just an absolute unit. I don't know. Him being over in Alaska definitely changed him. He's an animal now.
He's in Alaska. Wait, did he move to Alaska from somewhere?
I've actually got no clue.
Okay, he might have been in the white wastes this whole
Something
time.
like that.
Alaska's a big state. He could have gone from one side to the other side of the game 20 ping. I mean,
maybe he was playing Hyperdash every night while he was hiking up a trail,
or on his dog sled. I mean, it just works out.
Or dog sled. Do you think that can keep the kind of VR setup on the dog sled, just with the solar?
If you have enough dogs.
Have it be dog powered. One of the dogs is in like a hamster wheel on the back.
Yeah, and one of them could be Mayor.
Oh my god. I'll grant you that. I don't see a lot of cats, house cats, surviving in Alaska in the outdoors. So no cat mayor in Alaska. I'll give you that one.
Right. So aside from Sugar, what's your reasoning? Or is it just Sugar is that dude? He's him.
Yeah, justify yourself to Lazarus for not picking his team. You son of a
So that
bitch.
Lazarus can cry privately instead of yelling at you now.
He thought you were his friend, C2.
Exactly.
No, Laz has hated me since day one. I already know.
True.
He's hated me since day one. Ever since. Other.
Remember when I recruited you to my team multiple times? It's crazy.
Out of
Maybe I
hate.
hate you. Out of hate, yeah.
I just wanted to
keep your
defend
enemies
it.
close.
Only
I
reason.
don't know the thing.
Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. Yeah. But no, I think.
So you just think Sugarcane's that guy? That's your
12
logic.
a.m. Can I talk, please?
No.
Jeez.
Go ahead.
Trying to say 12 a.m. has improved a lot through this season, and I feel like that because I know they have a Luno and a bunch of other very good killers, and seeing them and how good they have been over the season, because we've even scrimmed them a couple times, and they've definitely given us a run for our money, especially for a sprinter team. It's actually really impressive, and I do love all my iron folks, but I just got more faith in 12 a.m. Besides you, Laz, I hate you. But yeah.
Noted.
You can have negative faith in somebody.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
C2, would you say it's because Laz is on iron that you think that they're going to lose? Like maybe perhaps if
personally,
12
yeah.
a.m. would play, if Iron would play 12 a.m. 4v5 and just not have Laz, that then Iron would win?
Oh, Duffy would carry easily. Duffy's like
Yeah, Duffy's good.
easy W.
If only he was able to spell his name right. His names are wrong during playoffs, so.
Really?
Well, so what was wrong about
his
it? Was
own
that
name. Come on.
It was that there was a space where there wasn't supposed to be. That's all there is.
So your rebuttal, Les. Now that we're on the topic of iron players, why do you think that 12 a.m. is going to win? Since that's obviously your stance on this.
I think it'll be free. I don't know what to tell you, but
okay. Yeah, Iron will just lay down and take it.
I'm gonna get my ideal server.
Okay.
Is last time we played them, they played on New York, which isn't you could not be further away from Alaska. Yeah.
Last time you guys played, it was super close.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had it pulled up. It was you guys beat them on Abyss 91-89, and then it was a 2-1 on Quarry. So super close.
And negotiations are still in the works, aren't they?
They're basically done.
Oh, are they? Do you know what maps you're playing?
Yeah, we're playing.
Besides Scoop.
Which maps you're not playing?
Hold on, let me go check the
process of elimination.
He's going to go to negotiate real quick.
So we've negotiated everything but the last map choice. Since they were the higher seed, they get to pick the 1 and 3 maps.
Oh, okay.
Which two got eliminated?
Hold on.
Did they choose a Dom or a payload? That's the big question.
They chose a payload, and the people in Iron cannot stop talking. I can't even find it. It's ridiculous.
Did one person mention it? Shout just kind of dropped it, and then everybody started talking about Helldivers or something after that.
Okay. Let me hit you with the hotness. All right.
The good.
So 12 a.m. They did. We picked a Canyon on Dallas. That was our pick.
Okay.
This is a launch pad on San Jose. They picked Volcano on San Jose, and then we could pick the Dom, but it will probably be a waterway.
Okay. Well, the first thing y'all should have done was to eliminate maps. So you should already know.
That's not how they did it.
Huh?
That's not how they did it.
Okay, well, both teams forfeit then.
They picked maps. They went back and I don't know why everybody assumes I'm the
SP&V is now the sprinter champs.
Woo!
Even though they lost. That's what you get for not following the rules.
Right. But
Interesting.
So was that how negotiating the fifth works? All teams just get to eliminate a map, and then you play the other two?
I mean,
Yeah,
to be
basically
honest,
the high seed eliminates one, and then the low seed eliminates one, and then y'all just pick off which ones you basically want in your home server.
Well, you can message head mod shout about that on the negotiation.
Whatever, it'll work out.
Negotiations,
But-
in my view at least.
I think this is gonna be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gollum.
Well, I mean, this is a good example of negotiations gone wrong, gone right. Is that like we have this baseline for rules for how you're supposed to do it, but as long as nobody's like getting dinged for like feeling like they're getting treated unfairly by their opponents in negotiations, or it's not too difficult, then like whatever gets the match done. But
yeah,
all
it's
too
like as long as
often we have to protect
negotiations are
people from that.
amicable, then yeah, as long as negotiations are amicable, like whatever conclusion you come to, fine. But these rules are in place because people try to like manipulate and take advantage and whatever. So like typically we don't care how you come to what you come to, but like when we get like
I can't not laugh at that, dude. Anyways,
well, goddamn,
the board's getting extra involved this
You
season,
guys
guys.
Can that be the name of the episode?
Laughing. That'll trigger me.
So, what were you talking about?
well, I'll say it's like when people ping us into their negotiation servers and then they're having problems and we find out they're not even following the rules on how to negotiate. That's when we get pissed off and we're like, why just follow the rules? That's why they're there. And but
yeah. So what were you saying, Goose?
I can't even remember now because
Before Lat came in and interrupted you.
He'll come when he comes to. I mean, it's
okay. So I was gonna say that I think that this match is gonna be super close. I think that it might even go to the fifth. I'm just going off of the past of the match that just happened recently between Iron and Midnight. I think this will be either like a. I think it'll go to the fifth map. My prediction right now.
It's going to be a finals that's like worthy of being watched for sure.
Yeah.
Like we've had some in the past where it's like extremely obvious who's going to win, and then it happens that way. But like this is, you can have a favorite. You can be strongly believing that favorite is going to win and have reasons for why, but nobody can disagree that these teams are not of like a similar level.
I totally disagree with that.
Totally disagree.
Shut up, Blatt. You don't have an opinion.
Come over here then.
all right. Tell me about all the matches you watched.
Finals for, or I guess third place, since we already kind of talked about finals for Dasher. Are you still
on that, Goose?
No, that's not me laughing. That's C2.
No, that's C2. For C2, he gets those long, awkward pauses where he's trying to wake up and then figure out his phone, and we all know he's falling asleep. But
I was ready to go with like,
so he stays awake.
Instead of like being asleep, go with like C2 calling in from the space station again, like comments this time.
Right.
But he's been much faster this time around. He's not taking a nap, I guess.
Congrats
Well,
to
we
you.
are doing this like 3 hours earlier. We did it at like 2 a.m. his time, and that's kind of your bad.
Yeah, true. So
Yeah, I don't need to sleep.
Life control.
Controlling life, controlling your life.
That's a real philosophical question. Do you control
C2.
life, or does life control you?
That is for you to answer, C2.
Personally, I don't know, man. Why are you even asking me that? That's
You're playing.
Do you want
what
an
do you
easier
mean?
question than like
how do you
controlling
mean
life?
I'm playing? What if I'm getting benched? Huh?
Are
You're the
you-
captain of your own
Bench
team.
Control
Are you the
also has
bench
an
yourself?
No. I don't have any captaining. That's all jaded.
I have an important question for you, C2. Why did you change your name to all caps mini turret? I think I've asked you this before, but I need to ask
Oh,
you
it was
this again.
because of Cerevoid.
Servoid, and that's what he called
Yeah.
him. He called you.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was at the beginning. So he was just like, "Hey, Mini Turret would be a cool name." I'm like, "All right, well, I love you, Cerevoid, so I'll do it." And then we kissed. So
Nice.
It was
Hey,
great.
yo.
And that's why you're good teammates, and that's why you're gonna win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely. The power of love wins out. What were you
Yeah,
What were you
he's
gonna say,
my baby
Goose?
girl.
Oh, man.
What? Something to say?
Did
got
y'all
something
throw
to
to
say?
me? What the hell did I say that made it seem like I had something to say? I was just laughing at C2s.
You got a problem with my love? Hey,
Yeah.
my
I
lover.
got no problem with your love with Servoid, bro.
We just
Pursue
all-
your love.
Yeah,
We all just
That's what I
kiss our
thought.
teammates
It's a
sometimes.
little weird to
I've
kiss
got something
Canadian,
you'll
though. I will
love,
say that.
Laz. A lot.
I kiss outsider too. Shut up. Wait, I wasn't supposed to say that. All right.
I'll officiate the wedding.
Anyways, so I think both of these guys having pretty tight matches with their respective opponents who moved on to the finals is, regardless, a great sign of what third place is going to look like, but also just what first place is going to be. Neither of these teams have had an easy ride into the finals, and both these teams have had that experience where they've gone through the playoffs relatively confident they're going to make it to the finals, but clearly, as with their last matches, both these teams have been expecting, I think at least, to play each other for basically the whole season in the finals. But the circumstances surrounding that and leading up to that, I think, are way beyond their expectations. And I would imagine, at least, that both these teams are going to be a little bit more on edge going into this, even though neither of these two matches that were relatively close with their respective teams were with each other. They had close matches that went to control point, and that mentality pretty much always carries over into how you approach the finals. I think that's just like the way that sports works, and I think that's really going to amp up the excitement for this finals. Who are you guys rooting for in this? Who, or rather, who do you think is going to win between Envy and UNSC?
I think Envy's going to win.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
That's your prediction? C2?
Oh, you changed your prediction, Laz.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way the last matches play out, I'm telling you, it's a difference maker.
Yeah, I'm still giving it to Envy.
Okay.
Well, I also think the format hurts UNSC inherently.
Wait, why do you say that? Yeah.
Because UNSC, very strong payload team, they don't have a good dom. They've gotten blown up on Quarry and Waterway before. So the fact that Envy can play both of those maps means they only need to win one payload to win, or only need one payload to not even play control point, is going to be very rough. And UNSC needs to be super dominant on the payloads if they want to get to a control point.
Yeah, it's pretty high stakes.
It's my opinion.
Unless they think they can take a dom out from under them, right? Which would be a surprise to everybody, but,
right.
Prices happen. Clearly, this season's an example of that. Lat, your thoughts?
I'll just stick with my original prediction. UNSC, they've got. It's gonna Koala and Dark Moon together. That's just gonna be tough anytime. But Rusty came, like you were saying, Rusty came out to play in that semifinal match. I think Sandman's been their not their carry. They have so many good players. They have three players that are capable of carrying that team. Mm-hmm. Taser, Sandman, and Rusty. But Sandman,
even Dark Ghost is incredible and has always been pretty amazing.
Or Destroyer, he can come out of the woodworks.
True.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Destroyer shows up.
I laugh at that just because he hasn't done anything, but he is.
I'm sure he'll activate like a robot before finals.
Just for finals, powered up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? He might do that because Destroyer's whole thing is he wants to win, right? And so he joins UNSC because he thinks UNSC is going to win, and then he, from what I hear, he's disappeared these last few weeks. So maybe he'll show up for the finals.
He also does not like Envy.
It'll be one of those situations where he comes in at the last map and
just control point.
Yeah, it's just like just like fog rolls in, some lights come up, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's Destroyer!"
Yeah. Well, let's see if they bring those four, then if Destroyer plays, that's a big difference maker, and I think that easily tips it in UNSC's favor. As it is, if Destroyer doesn't play, and both teams bring top lineups other than Destroyer, I think that's a much closer matchup. It should be it should be fun to watch. I mean, more fun than like this one's actually up in the air, whereas a lot of seasons have gone by where it's not up in the air. So should be a fun one to watch. That's for sure.
UNSC and Envy have played each other for the finals already before.
What
that was season 5, wasn't it?
No. Envy Phoenix.
I think
UNSC was like the favorite.
They got UNSC to get there, but Phoenix beat them in the semis.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Also, something to note is for the Envy control game is Envy didn't have Venom, and I assume he probably will be there for the finals.
Interesting.
Apparently, had like a Breeders match or whatever.
Oh, he didn't play in the semis, but you're saying he will be in the finals?
I would guess he'd want to be in the finals.
Be surprised if he wasn't.
All I know is that he wasn't in the semis.
Oh, okay.
He's also a really big component to that because and Vin is also a really good killer. Like I played against him enough to know he's crazy.
You were talking about the kind of like triple threat for UNSC, but in the same way, Koala, Dark Moon, and Venom are like the triple threat for Envy. Again, with the same way with UNSC, not discounting the rest of their players as being bad or even like too far off from these guys, but clearly
they shine above them.
These three are like big difference makers.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with these two top teams. They're so stacked. They all have they both have a handful of difference makers. So it's just who's going to make the difference on that day, who's going to pull it out. So
no makers on either team.
Say what?
No makers.
No makers on either team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, makers not being a difference makers this season.
Nope. Maybe next time.
Yeah, but this one could for sure go 5 maps, which is what you want in a finals match. You just want it to go on as long as possible. Both teams beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
going all out at the end of the season.
And both of these teams have the depth to do that. Like they could switch out basically their whole roster and still have a top team.
Yeah,
which is insane.
And a lot of them are on PCVR too. I know that for
yeah.
I don't know.
PCVR is an objective advantage.
Yeah,
I thought you were about to say, and a lot of them are on PCP. So it's going to be a crazy match.
I know that for a fact.
I was. This is totally off topic. I was joking earlier with somebody in a pub. I was like, "So you're telling me Dash League doesn't drug test? You mean I had the key into a cup for nothing?"
No. Send me that.
Season.
Everyone send Lateralis your pee in a cup. I'm definitely testing it for drugs, guys.
Oh, God.
You're not sniffing my piss. There's no way.
Oh my God.
Absolutely not.
Oh, no, he doesn't have a tester. He just sniffs it and goes off of that.
I mean, the dog mayor could drug test that way.
That's why you need a dog mayor. I'm telling you.
They train dogs to sniff out cancer.
This is a lot to see.
So dog mayor will sniff out drugs in your pee.
Yeah, that just means the dog's a narc. So the cat mayor for life. I'm still on it.
The cat mayor probably is high all the time. I mean,
true. Yeah, he would just order more catnip over and over.
That's cool, but I mean, at least you don't have to follow behind Dog Mayor and pick up his shit.
Cat Mayor would have the decency to bury it. Yeah, either in the box or maybe
I can reframe it.
Can totally use a toilet, dude.
You
won't flush.
Okay. No, dog shit is democratic because it's for the people. Anybody can have it. Catnip is contained and it's authoritarian in nature. Nobody can have it. It has its own little container.
It's not. Catnip is straight up cat drugs that you can go buy in PetSmart. You can walk in there and get your cat super stoned off catnip. So legalize all drugs. That's what I'm saying.
This is the hard
debate. Is that the Dash League official position?
Hey, no. Stop. God.
C2
terrible.
Always a reason here.
Again, yeah, that surprises me. Just like these Dash League
kids watch this DashCast and they're gonna end up taking that seriously. And I'm not trying to
they should get their parents' permission next time to watch.
I love how this episode devolved as soon as we got done talking about.
The owner of Dash League said I can do drugs. I'm gonna snort.
I mean, we opened up with dog mayor or cat mayor.
Yeah.
Don't act like this was like well coordinated.
We started devolving at the very beginning, and it's been fun.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
So NVU and SC can go either way. It will be a great match to watch. Make sure you guys watch.
What
it.
about Golem and Goose in C2? You guys haven't given your predictions.
We'll fight with our drones.
I already said I said Envy.
Oh, Goose Golem.
I'm UNSC for the same reason that Lat put out there. Not even. I'm not really thinking about Destroyer as much. I could kind of take or leave him at this point because he hasn't played.
You suck.
And I think that is a big difference maker for UNSC. But I think UNSC barely might have the edge here, just because of like watching that last match against Life. It was impressive.
I'm going with.
Now, sorry, go ahead, Goose.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm going with Envy because they've got the Dash League Legends Dark Moon in there.
True.
Not gonna mention Koala, just Darkman.
Oh well, yeah, Koala. Sorry,
Did Koala come into the VC for that?
Sorry,
I wasn't there for it.
I can't remember. Did he?
Now, do you guys have? Do y'all have any? We all know what we've all predicted, but do you want any one team to win over another in particular in any of the finals? I mean, obviously, Goose and I are going to be biased about Walker. I'll go ahead and say that I'm biased in Sprinter. I want Laz to win that. Then I'm biased in Dasher. I want Up Titty to get a championship. Then I want M-Dubs to get a championship so he can like fucking cool his jets, bro.
Chill out, yeah.
He wants it so bad this season. So I want those guys to get one. They've been around. UNSC has been around since the beginning. They were the first crown holders, even and M-Dubs and 1UP, neither one of them were around at the very beginning, but 1UP came around season 1 or 2. M-Dubs, I think, season 1 or 2 as well. So they've been around a long time. It's time for them to get one. So I hope they do. That would be cool.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm an advisor for 12 a.m. So much as I like you, Laz, much as we hang out a lot, and I like talking to you in these dash casts, I'm looking for a 12 a.m. win here in the. I
think it would be better for the league if they won. I would agree with that.
It would be interesting to be sure. I mean, they're trying to branch out into other games, and
right. You got to get old man Laz off the yarns. I'm undefeated in Sprinter tier playoffs.
Right.
I only won one game in Dash It here.
Laz, a quick question: does Iron have any new players to the league on Iron right now?
No.
Okay.
We're a bunch of old farts that like I don't know should have died years ago. Like, I mean, I think we're all multi-season players. Maybe Deathy and Dragon.
Is this B's second season? Because he was with Iron their first season. Then,
B played season 4, and this is their second season.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He played one season and then just disappeared, and now he's back.
Yeah.
And I remember
play for nobody.
That one season in Abyss, he one rocket, one shield, and that son of a bitch was hard to take out.
Yeah,
he had so much room to run away and had his shield up. It was like, yeah. So I was a little disappointed when he only played the one season. I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, and the Supernova Iron Control played went 46 and 13 with SMGs. So yeah,
wow.
Like,
easily our best player
never been
by like a wide margin.
It's crazy. B never gets rusty. He's always just in there and just killing everything. It's crazy.
So
yeah.
Because it seems like the majority of Midnight are either first season or second season. There's 2 players that have 3 seasons, but they're a relatively newer team. So that's
They also, by the way, early on in the 3v3 season, basically like rated the 3v3 teams and started advertising that we're creating this team Dusk. So they've been like hoovering up some of the better 3v3 players. I believe they're still working on that. So Dusk next season will be an interesting team to check out. A bunch of the better top level 3v3 players, I think. So that'll be fun to watch next season.
Well,
any
final points?
I have a question that's unrelated to anything.
Okay.
K-Dot or Drake? The important debate. I'm
against Drake, so I guess
if you say Drake, you gotta leave like right now.
Yeah.
Actually, ridiculous. There's no way anyone's gonna say Drake. Like you actually have to leave right now if you say Drake.
I don't know how many of you guys will get this besides Blatt, but I feel like this is Kanye was in a similar situation from a conceptual point of view. Let me be clear. From a conceptual point of view, Drake, Kanye, R. Kelly.
What?
They were making great music and were controversial. And once the bar of goodness of music got below the bar of controversiality, that's when shit flipped. And I feel like Drake's shit is flipping right now because he's not been making good music.
Goose
I
and
don't keep
Lat?
up with Drake at all. What's happening to him? I know R. Kelly. Like, this is not just because any music that he had was getting worse. It's like people came out on that dude.
Yeah, that was the other bar going above it instead. The bar
Is Drake
of,
having a
yikes.
similar issue right now? I've never kept up with that dude.
So you got Drake? Lat?
You said someone and Drake. I didn't even hear what you said, and none of this will make the final cut. We'll cut all this.
Alas, we'll say I've got one last question.
What do you mean? I think this is a great conversation for Dash League.
No, I was just making a joke.
I mean,
that's a joke that Conan always makes on his. He'll always go off on some tangent or say something racy or whatever, and he goes, "This will never make it," or something like that. So it's
on air,
and then it's always in. Yeah.
I mean, we started on an unrelated note. I wanted to end on an unrelated note.
That's true. That's a good point.
All right, so Drake versus Cat Mayor. I'm going Cat Mayor, dude.
Is that a Cat Mayor you would vote for, Laz, if it was against Drake for mayor of Alaska?
You better say yes.
I'd vote for a nuke.
Okay, fair. That reasonable.
You know what? That's okay.
Well, that's all the time we have today. That has been our episode of Dash Cats, not Dash Dogs. And we will see you all in the next one. Thank you guys for being here, for watching and listening, and thank you guys for talking as well. Goose, Laz, C2, Lat, and Not Gollum, of course.
Yep. Peace.
Shout out.
Later.
Most professional DashCast ever.
Dog Mayor forever.